This is David Lee from Physical Therapy and Balance Center. We're making this video to just share with you our top 10 favorite stretches and exercises to do for you when you're working from home. And so you may be feeling some discomfort or pain in your neck, upper back in general, maybe in your low back. So we want to give you these 10 exercises to do and see if they're helpful to you that we prescribe here in physical therapy. The first thing I want to go over is something called diaphragmatic breathing. And essentially that is breathing using our diaphragm muscle, which is in our rib cage. Many of us, as we work on a computer, we're slouched over, we do shallow breathing, and we use our rib cage to breathe. And we really never get a full breath. We're supposed to use our diaphragm to breathe, but when we're shallow breathing as we work, we actually don't ever get to use it. So, first thing I want you to do is learn how to, or relearn how to do diaphragmatic breathing, which is belly breathing. So if you put your hands on your belly like this, I want you to just take a deep breath in and try to fill your belly up, meaning your hands should rise as you breathe in. So if you breathe in like this, and then let go out, breathe out with your mouth. Ideally, your belly will rise and fall with that. So try that again, breathing in and out. And you should feel your hand rise with it if you're placing your hand on your stomach. We're going to use that throughout today's exercises as a way to hold our stretches, okay? So we're going to do diaphragmatic breathing. And if you do that throughout the day, that'll be really helpful as well. So the first exercise that we like to go to is it's called the chin tuck. A lot of us are rounded forward, our computer height is a little bit low, so we're straining and putting our chin out and bringing our head forward, this forward head posture. So to counter that, we want to do something called a chin tuck. So if you take your index and middle finger and put it right on your chin, set up nice and straight, I want you to just draw your chin back, okay? And you're almost making a double chin, and you don't want to look up, you just want to go straight back. And you're going to hold that and then do that for about 5 repetitions. Just push back. Many of you will feel it right at the base of your skull in the upper neck, and that's because those muscles are usually very tight and shortened because of this forward head posture, so the chin tucks help stretch that out. Some of you may feel it between your shoulder blades because we're so rounded. This will also stretch that out. The next stretch I want you to do is for the upper trapezius muscle, this muscle right here. And the way to do that is if you take your left hand, place it behind your back, and put it into your back right pocket. So you're reaching into your back pocket. And I want to take your other hand and pull your head to the side. And you're going to feel that stretch on this side, on the left side. And I want you to do 3 belly breaths, or 3 diaphragmatic breaths going. Here. So we're going to take our hand, pull it behind our back, and try to reach the opposite back pocket. So reaching back, take your other hand and bend your head away. So this hand is reaching down and back. This hand is going to pull the head across, and that's going to stretch this muscle right here. Now let's switch. Take the right hand, bring it behind your back to the opposite back pocket. Take your other hand, side bend away, and 3 diaphragmatic breaths. Okay, using your belly to breathe in and out. The opposite. Right hand goes behind the back to the opposite pocket, back pocket, and we're going to pull the head away with the other hand. The next stretch is very similar. It's a muscle a little bit further back called the levator muscle. And what you want to do, same thing, take your left hand, bring it to your opposite back pocket. Now turn your head away. So you want to turn your head away, and with your opposite hand, pull straight down, like you're looking down to your shoulder, okay? And you may feel that stretch a little bit further back. Perform 3 belly breaths, deep breaths in and out. You're gonna pull your hand back to the opposite hip, turn your head, and tilt your head down. And you're gonna get a little bit more back muscle, the posterior muscle, and that's the way you do that stretch. And then switch sides. Take your right hand to the back left pocket, turn your head away, and tip your head down. And 3 breaths right there. Switch that by taking the other hand, opposite pocket, turn your head, and tilt down. Okay? Again, using 3 belly breaths to hold that stretch there. And that muscle is a little bit different than the one that we just did prior. Trapezius muscle versus the levator muscle. Okay, so you'll feel that nuance a little bit from those two. I want to teach you something called cervical diagonals or neck diagonals. So our neck joints need to be moved, okay? Just like our shoulder joint, our knee joints. We have joints in our neck that need to be moved. So what we want to do is called diagonals. And we want to go over with your head and look over your right shoulder, up and over, and then you want to come down and opposite. So you're going up and over, and down to the left, opposite. So you're going in a diagonal fashion. Up and over, down and back. Okay, that's one diagonal. Let's do the other one. Up and over to the left, down to the right. So we're doing this diagonal. Up and over, and down to the right. A lot of people mistakenly do this by just turning their head. It's not just a turn. You have to look up and over, okay? So imagine if you had to catch a ball over your shoulder. You would have to look up and over. It's just not a simple turn. It's an up and over, down into the opposite way. Those are called cervical diagonals. Try 3 to 5 of each direction. Let's do something for our shoulders. Our shoulders are constantly in their forward rounded position, so our pec muscles are very tight, okay? And our anterior shoulder is very tight. So let's loosen them up. There are 3 letters I want you to remember. The 3 letters are Y, T, and W. What I want you to do is first take your hands up and make a Y with your body, a letter Y. You're gonna go up and reach back as far as you can and arch your back. That's a Y. Let's come across and do a T. Okay? And then a W is elbows to your side, bent elbows, and you're just gonna roll them back, and that's a W. Okay? So I want you to make a W with your arms. So again, Y's, T, and elbows to your side, W, roll them back. Okay, so remember those 3 letters, great stretches for the pec and your shoulders. You can perform those 3 in a row, and you want to try to do 3 to 5 of those. Okay? We're gonna go further down the spine to our thoracic spine, which is our mid-back. So one way we can help loosen up that is something we're gonna do is called rotations. So put your hand behind your head like this. And if you interlock your hands and put them behind your head, I want you to rotate your trunk all the way to the right, and then rotate all the way to the left. Okay? It's helpful if you had your feet flat on the floor. So if you can scoot forward in the chair and put your feet flat, that'll stabilize your pelvis and below, and you're gonna rotate your trunk as far as you can, and then you're gonna rotate the other way. You may not notice, but I feel it. My left is way tighter than my right. My right, I can go further. Left, I can't. So that's the one I'm gonna work on. Some of you may also find one side is more tight. I'm gonna work to go and take a deep belly breath and come out of it. And I'm gonna do 3 rounds of that, going to the left. And let's go one more. So with any stretch, we want to use diaphragmatic breathing, using our belly to breathe, to get that nice stretch. And as we let go of the breath, you should feel your stretch getting even more effective. You should be able to get into it a little bit further. So that one is a trunk rotation for you guys. The next one is for our low back and hips, called the lean out. So what I want you to do is scoot forward on your chair. Feet are flat, but I want your feet wider than hips. I want you to cross your arms on your shoulder and try to bring your elbows out further than your toes. You're gonna lean out straight ahead and then come on back. So it's a seated lean out. And try to lean out those elbows past your toes. Okay, so your toes are about here. You wanna go further out that way. Okay, coming back. Okay, going into the stretch again. Go as far as you can and back. And we're gonna do 3 to 5 reps of this, keeping our back straight, looking up ahead. Okay, we don't want to be rolling our back here right now. We want to just try to get our hips to do the motion for us, leaning straight out. Okay, for our next stretch is for our piriformis muscle, which is in the back of your hip. I want you to scoot back on your chair, cross your foot on the opposite knee. Okay, When you cross your foot, I want you to take the knee and hug it. You're gonna pull it across to your opposite shoulder. So you're gonna hold that stretch, and you should feel it right in the back of your hip. And we're gonna get 3 belly breaths, 3 diaphragmatic breaths from here. Next, we're gonna get the hip joint. Same position, but this time you're gonna push your knee away down to the floor. So you're gonna sit with your knee, foot across and just press down. Okay, it's just the opposite. 3 breaths there. Okay, and we're gonna switch over to the left. We're gonna hug the left knee up and across towards your opposite shoulder. 3 breaths there. And then we're gonna push down and do 3 breaths there. Lastly, we want to get you moving, okay? You may have seen previous videos where I talk about posture and the idea of perfect posture. You want to break up the posture, meaning you don't want to be in one sitting posture for hours on end. You want to break up the tension. So one of the ways you can do that is a chair sit to stand. So all we're going to do is just sit on the front half of the chair, feet are underneath you, flat on the floor, and we're just going to stand on up and sit back down. A chair, sit to stand. Stand on up and sit down. Ideally, we can go to 10 reps in a row. That'd be great. Some of you are more advanced, meaning you have a little bit more strength. Rather than a sit to stand, do a chair squat. Here's the difference. We still lean forward and stand up, but for a squat, we don't sit. We just touch and go right back up. We're gonna touch and right back up. And this requires a little bit more balance. When you do a chair squat, you want to make sure you're leaning forward quite a bit. Otherwise, you're just going to fall back into a chair. So you want to stand on up, lean forward, touch the chair, come right back up. Okay? So if you're not quite ready for the squat, do the sit to stand. You're going to actually sit down and stand up. A chair squat's more advanced. If you can tolerate that, do 10 reps of that as well. I recommend picking a few of these that we just reviewed, these 10, and make them a part of your routine. If you can, break up your posture hourly. Set your alarm on your phone or wherever you can for every hour, and do a handful of these exercises that really spoke to you. Do those, make those a part of your routine, and break up your posture throughout the day. And hopefully this helps you. And if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact us, and we'll see you next time.